Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Big Man MTG here with my first deck take on the channel, and this is my favorite deck. It is a Thrasios Vial Smasher EDH deck, and it uses Thrasios to gain value. Use Vial Smasher to end the game. Now, I'll try to make this as quick as I can. This is a pet deck of mine. This is a deck that they're just cards that I have. I put together and made the deck. It's not optimized completely, but I think it does just fine. It wins games quite convincingly against my play group. It's a pretty good deck. That's mainly because of these commanders and the colors that are in them. And now for the creatures of this deck, Biomancer's Familiar. Ooh, making Thrasios' ability cheaper. Very good. You want that Birds of Paradise, Bloom Tender. Those are the ramp. Bloom Tender is extremely good and extremely cheap right now, so you get it while you can, and you use cards like that and these signets here, all these to make your life extremely easy. Get those ramp pieces out just to go and make your game a lot quicker, a lot easier, and keep you ahead of the curve against your opponents. And then cards like Dolphy Voidwalker, Opposition Agent, Void Winnower, Karavek, all those type of cards are in here to slow down your opponent and let you gain advantage on them. Opposition Stealing Tutors, kind of a broken card, but necessary to stop your opponent from doing stuff. Dolphy, when your opponent plays a broken spell, hits the graveyard and you exile it, then you get to cast that broken spell. Very nice. It's a very good card. Then Karavek, punishing your opponents for casting spells, also very, very good. You use these to slow down your opponents. And then you have things like cast to use to recur spells from your graveyard. So you can like recur certain like Jaya's Immolating Inferno. You can't do Current Tempo, so I'm gonna get to exile that one. I almost said that one. But like ribbons and stuff like that, Brass's Bounty, getting more lands. It's a very good card. Then there's a combo in here with Splicer Kitten and Dockside, where you get to cast these cheap non-creature spells and have Displacer Kitten bounce Dockside to make a crap ton of treasures. And you just kind of go crazy with that. You can kind of go from there and win the game with all the treasures you'll be making from the deck. And then you have the sorceries, which are, you have the big ramp pieces, which those big CMC spells will deal damage to your opponent from Thrasios. So you can do 7 damage randomly to your opponent, which is nice. And you also make a crap ton of treasures, which is very nice, very nice. Then you have cut ribbons. That's one of your win cons. Jay is a Mimic Inferno, a win con. You have a Comet Storm, another win con. Those big X spells that deals damage. Very nice to have in the deck when you have a crap ton of treasures and a crap ton of mana, and you use that and you deal damage from the Comet Storm spell, but you also deal damage using Vial Smasher off Comet Storm CMC, and you absolutely obliterate your opponents, winning the game most of the time. Then you have, of course, your board wipes, the Toxic Deluge, which is always one of the top tier board wipes in the format. You have like a Cyclonic Rift, which is the best blue board wipe, and you'll never see a card printed like that ever again. Then you have the General Tutors, which is like the mystical tutor. You have the draw cards. Then you have the draw card effects like Frantic Search on taps lands, the Brainstorm. Then you have your removal, which you have to have Assassin's Trophy, which got reprinted. Also very cheap, very nice. Chaos Warp, the most generic like red removal spell, but it is so fun to play. Um, then you have like the protection you'll need. Veil of Summer, protecting your board is very important. Heroic Intervention, very important. And then you have like you're gonna have a lot of counters. You have to have a lot of counter spells. You're in blue, like why not run them? Like protect your board, protect what you need, man. Fierce Guardianship, Force and Negation, um, Mana Drain, Swan Song. Those are the spells you need just to protect yourself. Arcane Denial, certain spells you use to protect yourself and to make sure you and your plan are always in motion and allow you to do your thing. And then artifacts, you want to use Strionic Resonator. Top tier card to copy Vial Smasher's ability so you can get double the ability off of Vial Smasher. So that could be like let's say you cast a 7 CMC spell. You pay the 2, tap it, copy the ability. You get to throw more damage around randomly, and that is just fan-freaking-tastic. Who would say no to that? And then I also have the Vidalcan Ori, because that got reprinted, and that's cheap. The special Vidalcan Ori, one of my favorite cards, making my spells have flash, is broken, especially when you have a Seaboard Muse in your deck. So you untap your permanents, and everything you have is flash. You can abuse either Thrasios' ability. You can cast any spells you really want. And you probably win if you have those 2 cards out. Like, you'll easily win. So, that's nice. And then Leyline Anticipation, doing the same thing as Vidalcan Ori. But if it's in your hand, you get to play it immediately, which is also fan-freaking-tastic. Then you go to the enchantments, a Mystic Remora. Never can go wrong with that. Always a good card. I need to buy Ristic Study, actually. Also a very good card. It got reprinted a couple times. But more importantly, Mystic Remora is getting reprinted in Dominator Remastered. So look out for that. That's a good buy. But very good card in this deck. Punishing early plays. Get it out like maybe turn 1, turn 2. Punish those early like ramp spells. Like the Signets, the green ramp that's everywhere, all of that. You get to draw cards off it. Very nice effect. In a Phyrexian Arena, just drawing 1 card and losing a life, I'm not complaining. That's very good. Very, very good. And you can die off it, but the likelihood you're going to die off a Phyrexian Arena is very, very slim, although extremely funny if you do. Then a Sunsbird Invocation, my favorite card because it just has a shit ton of text, and it's fantastic. You cast a spell, let's say it's like a 7 CMC spell again. You reveal 7 cards with top of your library, where it's the CMC value, yes. And then you may cast the CMC of the spell, reveal without paying its mana cost. Which is fantastic. So you can cast one of the 7 that's equal to or less than the CMC of the spell you just cast. It's not like the first spell you cast. You can just do this constantly, and it's absolutely broken. I love this card to pieces. Kind of sucks. It's only 79 cents, but at the same time, it is 6 mana, so pretty on the expensive side. But damn, is it good and damn, is it fun. And then Training Grounds, also a very good card. Love this card. It works. It's just like Biomancer's Familiar, just on an enchantment in 1 mana. Good with Thrasios, and it's so good with Thrasios, just generating that value. And it helps you churn through your deck to get to your counter spells, removal, your win cons, whatever you need. For whatever you need in that certain scenario, what you need, ramp or removal or any way, whatever you need, use those cards to turn through your deck to figure it out. And that is that's my deck. This is the breakdown of it. Now you'll have like most of your stuff in the 1 through 3 spot, because that's like all your ramp, your removal, your protection, counter spells. That's where most of the deck will be. And then over like back here are your like win cons. Those are like the heavy spells that you use with Vial Smasher to win the game. And this is kind of like the breakdown of it. Block white. White is the shittiest color in Commander. Don't at me. It is the worst. And I often avoid white. It's just so bad. Like, you have the few good white cards, but it's just so bad, so I always avoid white. But this is kind of like the breakdown of the deck. It's just, this is on Moxfield, by the way. Moxfield is very nice. Very, very nice. You want to, like, see what you got going on with your deck. It's very nice to use. But yeah, this is my Vial Smasher and Thrasios deck. I'm gonna give it a little quick summary real quick. What you want to do. You want to play Thrasios first, play your ramp, do whatever you need in the beginning of the game. Then you want to kind of churn through your deck, looking for these big extra turn spells. And when you get Vial Smasher out, then you play these big extra turn spells that deal damage to your opponent. And you kind of constantly do that. Then you play like Ribbons or Comet Storm or Jasmine Miller Inferno to end the game using these big spells. And that's the basically run down the deck. You turn it's a Cynic value engine with red and black win cons. Simple as that. Well, that is all from me, all from Big Man MTG. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.